Hello students, I'm Dr. Praveen Tripathi, Faculty of Psychiatry, and today with me is Dr. Akhil Mathew. And Dr. Akhil Mathew, let me introduce him first. He got rank 54 in the recent AIIMS examination. And I'm interviewing him because his story is really unique. And his story is something that all of you students who are preparing out there must listen to, must derive some lessons from. So why am I saying this? Dr. Akhil appeared for NEET exam last year and secured a rank of 44,000. And from there, in a span of 7-8 months, he got a rank 54 in AIIMS. So this is a beautiful story, and that tells us a lot about how the preparation should be done. So Akhil, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And also I must thank you that you traveled all the way from Kerala to Delhi for this interview. So we really appreciate that.
Pleasures.
So Akhil, can you tell me something about yourself first?
I'm Dr. Mathew. I'm a 2013 batch MBBS student of Trivandrum Medical College, Kerala. I completed my internship in March of 2019. I started my PG preparation proper from May of this year, 2019.
All right. So May 2019 till November 2019.
November
That makes like 5-6 months of preparation.
Yes, 6 months.
All right. So Dr. Mathew, were you always a topper in your MBBS days?
No, sir. I was not a topper in the exams. I used to work hard. I used to make an effort to get the concepts and go for the postings and get an idea of the basic things in MBBS. But I was not the exam topper.
All right. So students, this is the first lesson. You don't have to be a topper in your college to become a topper in the entrance examination. Let us learn more from him. Akhil, after you got this rank 44,000 in NEET,
Yes.
you must have reflected upon it, and you must have made some plan that okay,
Yes.
this is what I need to do. So can you tell me a bit what went into your mind when the first result was not that favorable?
Yes. So when I went for the NEET exam, there was no proper preparation behind that. So just because everyone was writing, I thought I'll also give it a shot. So I went for the exam, and when I was attempting the exam, I kind of knew all the questions. I didn't know the correct answer, but everything was sort of familiar.
Okay.
So I went on marking most of the answers, and I ended up leaving only 5 or 6 questions
Okay.
in NEET. And when the results came, I realized that it was the biggest mistake I made. First thing, I was not sure about many of the questions. So because I had a rough idea, I marked a question, marked an answer. Secondly, I got a lot of negative markings.
Right.
So those 2 things and my low NEET score made me ponder upon what all things I'm lacking. So in which area I'm lacking. Though I knew the concepts, though I had a basic idea, I knew that wouldn't help me secure a good rank in the PG exam.
Right.
And I needed a proper exam-oriented preparation for that. So that's when I started my
Preparation for
PG preparation.
Right. So as Dr. Akhil very nicely pointed out, when you are doing your MBBS, that's a different game. Preparing for PG entrance at some level is a different game altogether. I mean, the way you think, the mindset, the kind of resources you use, all of those things change to a certain extent, right? And that is what Dr. Akhil is trying to tell us. So, Dr. Akhil, most of the students think that even 12 months are less for the preparation. You did it practically in just 6 months. So how did you use those 6 months? I mean, we'll talk about the examination preparation strategy later, but some basic idea. In just 6 months, how was it achieved? How was it done?
So the time required, it is subjective. I would say that I took 5 to 6 months for securing a good rank. There might be many people who did it in 3 months. There might be people who did it in 2 months. And there may be people who need maybe 12 to 15 months for proper preparation. So that is subjective. It's not just based on the IQ level. It's also based on the hard work. It's based on the number of hours per day dedicated. More than hard work, I would say it depends on smart work.
Right.
Because PG preparation is you have less time and more questions. Preparation makes only a part of your game. The other part involves practicing questions and improving yourself at attempting each question perfectly in the least time possible. So that can be done only by preparing on one hand, getting your concepts and facts strong. Along with that, we need to attempt mock tests, exams, and gain a strong hold on that area also.
Wonderful. So what I hear from Dr. Akhil is that it's not only about putting long hours. Just to quote him, it's about smart study, not only harder study. And he's saying that apart from studying, it's also very important how you attempt the questions. That is equally important than just mugging it up. Very well said, Dr. Akhil. All right. So again, so in these 6 months, I mean, how did you manage? What was the time given for the first study, first reading? How many revisions were you able to do? When did you go for the test and all those stuff?
So, like I said, I started my proper preparation in May, second week of May. So I started with the big subjects like medicine and surgery.
All right.
Initially, I had a tendency to go slow because the lectures were all conceptual. So I enjoyed the classes. So I thought maybe going slow with each subject will help me retain this for a longer time. But at the end of 2 weeks, when I attended the mock test of medicine and surgery, I realized that I had forgotten most of the things.
Okay.
So that's when I understood that I needed a different plan, a different strategy. I cannot go this slow because first thing, I was not finishing it in the required time. So I kept a defined time, a stipulated time for each topic or each subject. And I made sure that I finished each subject within that time.
All right.
So initially I watched the lectures with the notes. Whatever extra points I wanted, I wanted to remember later or revise later. I added it to my notes.
Okay.
Following the lectures, maybe the next day, the same day if possible. But many times I was not able to do it. Many times maybe next day or after 2 days, I'll go for the question bank of the same topic. And whatever extra information I get from the Q bank, I'll add it to my notes also.
Right.
So I made sure that my notes was my last resource, my one hard resource where I can come back to for my revision, and I'll get everything needed from that one source.
Great. So students, what Dr. Akhil is very rightly pointing out is that when you see videos, you have to make notes, or if you are using the notes provided to you already, you can just add points to those notes so that in the end, when you do the revision, you have one source that you can bank upon.
Yes.
Right? All right. So again, Akhil, how many months did it take for the first reading to get completed? Yeah.
Again, during the first read, it's very important that we do not go slow because the most important thing that we are going to regret later is that we do not have enough time for revision.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we need to keep that revision. We need to give due importance to the revision first. And make sure that we finish the first reading at a really good pace. So I took 3 months to 3.5 months for my first read.
Okay.
And I did really fast.
Fast, okay.
I used to spend maybe 15 to 16 hours a day, if possible. Many days I was not able to do it. So I used to consider those days as my rest days.
Okay.
It didn't hurt me also. I used to get my mind refreshed. Or maybe if I didn't want to watch the lectures and read the notes, I'll maybe attend a mock test.
Okay.
So that'll give me an idea of what areas I need to focus more, the wrong questions.
Right.
Another important thing is, like I said earlier, practicing questions should go hand in hand with reading notes and watching lectures, because we cannot have a separate time for practicing questions and a separate time for preparation, for reading the theory.
All right.
So things should go hand in hand. I would say during the initial read, spare at least 1 or 2 hours, 1 hour if possible at least, for doing questions.
Got it. Okay. So Dr. Akhil is saying that he was able to finish his first reading in only 3 months, and the rest 3 months were used for revision.
Yes, I took another 1 month for doing more of mock tests and gaining an idea of areas where I was lacking.
Got it.
So certain factual areas, then concepts that I was not sure of. So I spent almost 1 to 1.5 months and doing mock tests alone. I focused mainly on that. And once I gained that idea, I went back to revision, good revision with grand tests.
Great. All right. Wonderful. All right. So, Dr. Akhil, you said that you were studying for almost 15 to 16 hours a day.
I tried to. I tried to.
So that's a lot. For many of us, that's a lot. So, one of the important questions that as faculties we often get is how to keep ourselves motivated.
Yes.
So, you were putting 15 hours, 16 hours a day. How did you keep yourself, at the top of your game?
Yes, sir. So, for me, the most important thing was I knew that I did not perform well in the last exam. I realized that my preparation strategy though I didn't prepare, I knew my preparation was lacking. I knew my strategy was not right. So that was the first most important thing in my mind. That was my driving force. Other things, I made sure that the end result or the day of the exam did not matter, did not bother me a lot.
Okay.
So I did not want any negative feelings or distracting thoughts to come. The feeling of maybe what if I score low, what if I don't get it this time. Those kind of things can be kept for the day after the exam, maybe I think. So till the day of the exam, we should focus mainly on the track, on the course. We should not focus about who stands first at the podium or second or third.
Right.
We should just focus on our track. We should focus on how fast we are running. We should focus on where we should pick up the speed.
Right.
Is it, are we good on the straight track or are we good on the curves? So we should focus on that.
All right, on the journey, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure you were taking so many mock tests. There must be occasions when you did not perform so well in the mock test.
Definitely.
So you did not let those things bother you.
So initially, most of the mock tests I did not do well. I used to get a major chunk of the questions wrong.
All right.
So first 2-3 tests I was upset because when I see my rank will be really low. Then even I had this thought like everyone does, like what if this is my rank for the real exam also. But then I realized that if I let those things affect me, then I'm not going to. I found out that a bad result will affect my studies for that day. So I made sure that I had this feeling you can make mistakes for the mock test. Because till the day of the exam, the game is not over.
Exactly.
Till the exam, till the final bell is rung, we still have the chance. We can still get a question right. We can still score 1 mark more, or we can avoid a negative mark. So that can improve my rank. So I made sure that the mock tests were an opportunity for me to improve myself. I can make the mistakes. It's my playground. I can do whatever I want. I feel free. So I also made sure that I improve on the things that I was lacking, on the questions that I was wrong, concepts that I was not sure of. So that was there, but I did not let the low rank or the less marks to affect my mind.
So I'm so glad he said this. I keep on saying this thing to all my students. It's not over till that bell rings in that examination hall, and this is exactly what Dr. Akhil is also saying. So for all those students who keep on messaging us, the faculties, or putting on the Facebook that I'm not getting good rank in this test, that test, what should I do? Listen from the topper himself. It happens to all of us. It even happens to the AIIMS toppers. So there is no need to panic about the results of these of these tests, right? All right. So Dr. Akhil, so you told me that you are studying for 14-15 hours a day. So how often would you take a break? And do you think taking breaks is also important?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise we tend to burn out? Huh?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Taking breaks is important. But what we should keep in mind is that our breaks should not be a distraction. I can, maybe after 5 or 6 hours of reading, I might feel a little saturated. So I go for a break. But I made sure the break was in such a way, the activity that I do during that 1 hour or 1.5 hours was such a thing that I just get refreshed. I don't lose all this information that I got during the 5 to 6 hours. I don't come back feeling that we all have to admit that 5 to 6 months of PG preparation is indeed a boring procedure.
Exactly.
It's physically, mentally tiring. So we have to admit that and make sure we don't go for really interesting entertainments during the break time, so that we come back and feel, okay, I should have just continued.
Yeah, you start missing those.
I should have just continued doing that.
Right.
So we have to keep those things aside, but definitely taking a break from reading or doing tests is important, so that your mind can reset itself to its normal.
Right. So Dr. Akhil used to take break of 1.5 hours after studying for 5 hours. There are other students who study for 1 hour and then take a break for 15 or 20 minutes. I think both of these would work, right?
It's subjective. Yeah. It's subjective. So it's not like always I follow this protocol. Maybe some days I'll go for 8 to 9 hours of continuous read.
Okay.
So it's subjective. There might be people who can go for 15 hours at a stretch. So that's all. It all depends on their dedication, their skill set.
Right. But one thing that Dr. Akhil very nicely pointed out was what you do in that break is very important. If you study for 1.5 or 2 hours and then you start watching a movie on Netflix or a TV series on Netflix, you may get so absorbed into that series that it would be difficult to come back to the study mode. So we should not do those things, right? In my personal experience, music is something which is good. Hanging out with parents, you used to talk to your parents.
I used to spend time with my parents, my family, maybe call up a friend and just discuss how is their preparation going on. So it all depends on how much the person can restrict that break,
right,
without affecting their study time. Because we have to understand the most important thing is not the break. The most important thing is not relaxing your mind. The important thing during this preparation time is getting maximum information, consolidating it, and scoring well for the exam. So importance should be given for that. The other one is just so that you don't get bored, you don't get frustrated.
So Dr. Akhil, when you started the preparation, you had like 5-6 months only. Did this thought come across your mind that only 6 months are left, and these 6 months would determine what my rest of life would be, and I should give my best possible shot, whatever I have, I should give it to the preparation?
Yes, sir. I had that thought, and that's why I decided to break up my time into 3 sections and finish my first read as fast as possible, because I realized that, as I said earlier, after the initial 2 weeks, I realized a slow read will not help me retain all the facts. So I went quick. I went really fast in the first 3 months. And whenever I get this thought of something that scares me, what if I score low? I'll just think that, see, everyone is in the same situation. I'm not the only one. Though I got such a low rank in my NEET, there were people who scored less than that. There were people who scored more than that. So everything can change in the next few months.
Right.
And I believe that the game was in my hands, and how well I played is what mattered, and not
exactly. Game was in my hand is what Dr. Akhil says. A game is always in your hand. A couple of months, and there's this super level of preparation can change things completely, turn the tables completely. Anyways, let's talk about a very important part of Dr. Akhil's preparation. His preparation was done in his own home. He was not in the hostel, not in the college. He was staying at his home with his parents, and that might have been tough. Does it get boring, not interacting with other students, not seeing other students study?
So that is also, again, it varies from person to person. So why I chose home was because I didn't want any other factor to affect me. I just wanted me and my preparation materials.
Right.
So because I scored low, and because I had little time, I didn't want to take any risks. So I thought maybe I'll just go home, sit in my study room, and even my parents are not allowed to enter my study room.
Oh, wow.
So when I take break, I just go to them where they are there, and I speak to them. They don't come up to my room. So even they gave me that privacy. So it all varies. Maybe there are many people who stayed in hostels and scored well. So it all depends on what their comfort level is. So that can vary.
But that can be done. A lot of students message me and say that I am in another country, I am in another city, I am married, how do I manage it? Well, here is an example for all of you guys. It can be done irrespective of whether you are staying in the hostel or at your own home. All right. Apart from that, Dr. Akhil, what to do with the phone, the mobile? All the students are worried. They end up wasting so many hours on the phone. How did you manage that?
Yes, sir. The phone, when we start preparation, everyone has a tendency to go to Facebook first, search all the groups, maybe different institutes, all the groups that are available, subscribe to each one of them.
Right.
Then go to Telegram and check all the groups on that.
Right.
Then go to WhatsApp and create groups on that.
Right.
Ultimately, after maybe the first 2-3 days, we might restrict ourselves to these things. But then later on, after we go through these groups, then we have a tendency to say like, okay, I've been studying for 4 to 5 hours. Why don't I take a break? I'll just go to YouTube and watch a video. Why don't I watch a football match?
Right.
So those things can end up wasting your time, because these things, if you start watching a match, then we might get absorbed into that. We might spend many hours going seeing the reviews, seeing the recaps, highlights, everything. So those things can affect our preparation. So it's not necessary that everyone is in the same condition. I would say it depends. I was a person who would get distracted, so I restricted myself to just 1 or 2 groups. Every 3 to 4 days, once in 3 to 4 days, I'll just go to a group. I'll see what all important questions are there. If there's any question that I find difficult to digest, I'll just see what explanation the faculty is given. I'll read that.
Would you ever comment on those questions, all those
No,
posts?
I did not do much commenting.
You were a silent observer.
I was not much into commenting on it. I'll just see the questions. I'll try to answer that. If I could not answer that, I'll go back, read the notes, or I'll see the explanation given. And as soon as I finish that, I made sure I'll switch it off. I'll keep it aside because.
So how much time would you spend? When you would open it after 3 days, how many hours or how many minutes?
No, not hours. Sir. Definitely not hours. I would spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
All right.
And maybe another 10 minutes in reading the things I don't know. So altogether, maybe half an hour to max 40 minutes I would spend in those questions.
So that's a very important point that he has made. When we go on Facebook and we are scrolling through all those posts, we create an illusion in our own mind that we were studying. So we spent 3 hours, we feel as if we were studying, but we were not really studying.
Yes.
And we end up feeling tired, and then we are also quite likely to get distracted. From there, you may go to some other post and may start spending time over there. So Dr. Akhil is saying in 3 to 4 days, just 30 to 40 minutes, and he would never comment, so that he would not be waiting for the replies to his own comment and the notifications. It's a trap, right? All right. After that, what I would want to understand is again, Dr. Akhil, there are many sources out there.
Yes.
And we will not name any particular source. We don't want this interview to be a marketing interview.
Okay.
But there's a genuine question. Somebody says that this video is good. Then somebody says that this book is good. Somebody says that this QBank is good. And of course, there are great sources out there. So how do we stop ourselves from this, a desire to read it all, and we end up wasting more time than is available to us.
So that's again, it's I would say it's ironical because we start with one source, we read some of it, then halfway through we feel that this is not sufficient, we feel that this is not adequate, our friends are doing another source, so what if they get a question right and I don't? So that's the basic idea that stimulates us to go to another source. Then we start with the other source, leaving this halfway through. We have not completed this. We have just started that. We go through that. We realize that we don't have the time to complete it. We stop it halfway. And then now we don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Now we are confused. Now we are saying that there's too much of this, there's too much of that. I don't know what to do. Now someone should give me the important topics, important list of important topics so that I can just study that.
Right.
So this is what happens most of the time. It's not wrong. I won't say that people who are doing this are wrong because they are concerned about how well they'll score if they get all the questions right, if one source is better. So I would say stop comparing the sources. Every source has something unique about it. Every source has its own pros and own negatives.
Cons, yeah.
So rather than focusing just on the negatives, we should make sure that whichever source we are going for, that we complete it, that we are able to do really good with that. Are you able to do all the tests given in that source well? Did you read all the questions given in that well? Are you able to recollect everything that was taught in that source?
Right.
So after completing that, if you have the time, then maybe you can go for multiple sources. There's no issue with that. But I would say always stick to one source because that is what, for me personally, that was what proved useful. I had one main notes. I watched the videos. I added to my notes. The questions, whatever I did not know, I added to my notes. During my last month of revision, it is that one set of notes that helped me. And it proved useful in the exam also.
So Dr. Akhil is clearly saying, and we as faculties also say, it's not about us. It's not about even the institute. It's about the student who is just logging out there and getting a great result for himself or herself. So whatever resource you choose for yourself, stick to that. Never change the resource midway. All right. Dr. Akhil, I have a very important question here. So a lot of students are interested in the latest updates.
Yes.
And latest drugs, latest changes.
Yes.
And sometimes I personally feel that they end up wasting a lot of time on these things. The questions might get asked, but the risk versus benefit ratio may not be skewed towards these things.
Yes,
as a student, as a rank holder, what do you think?
So latest guidelines or new drugs, definitely when one person is going for the entrance exam, they know that previous years there's a history of asking latest guidelines. The new drugs has been asked.
Right.
So everyone's concerned. But I would say new drugs, no one is going to remember the new drugs if you start preparing those from the first month.
Exactly.
So there's no point in trying to memorize all the new drugs initially. but it is important. So keep it for the last. Again, new guidelines. Don't spend too much time worrying about the new guidelines, because the questions that can be asked from the new guidelines are limited,
right?
So we should not, the new guidelines, especially in certain subjects, is really lengthy. By hearting all that is difficult,
right?
So don't spend too much time on that. Focus on the basics and build from that. If you feel that you've done the basics, you've done the questions, you've done the question banks, you've done everything, and there's nothing more to do, then you can maybe go for the guidelines.
Right.
You can go for all those things. Otherwise, just stick to the basics and go for the guidelines and the new drugs in a peripheral way, in a shallow way. Don't go too deep, but don't leave it also, because questions can come. So trust your sources. The list of new drugs that they give, revise that, because even in this AIIMS exam, new drugs was asked.
They were asked, yeah.
New drugs was asked.
Right.
So it's important to go through it, but don't spend too much of your time on that.
So basically, finish the course, and
Finish the course,
in the last months, at the end of the preparation,
Yes.
just go through, rush through these things. Okay. All right. Dr. Akhil, you have been saying that it's a boring 6 months journey. There must be times when you did not feel like studying, I'm
Yes,
sure.
sir, definitely.
How would you bring yourself back to the preparation mode? Would you go for some motivational lectures, videos? What did you do?
I would say everyone will be having their own way of bringing their mind, of resetting their mind back to the normal, the fresh state. What I used to do after 12 to 14 days of continuous study, I used to get a little saturated.
All right.
The next day when I take my book, I'll try switching the subjects. That was one thing that I did.
Okay.
I did not go with one subject for a really long time. I'll mix up the subjects. But even if I did that, after 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I get bored. So then I'll take a half a day off or 1 day off. And during that time, like I mentioned earlier, I will not go for these activities that will just pull me away from all this and take me to a whole new level of entertainment.
Right.
I'll just stay with some basic stuff. I'll watch motivational videos, short ones, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, just refresh my mind, understand what another person has to say about this thing. So those things were helpful.
Right.
And I would suggest that everyone has to watch, everyone watches something like that. So they can keep their minds refreshed and also understand another person's perspective on these things.
Right. So a very important point made here, that even when you are taking a break, say even if you are taking a 1 day break, your mindset should not get detached from the preparation process. Even in that 1 day break, he was watching a motivational video. Many times I have seen students, even if they are watching a movie, a motivational movie, say somebody is watching a movie like Chak De India, in their own mind the movie is going on, but the mind is correlating the game to their own preparation, their struggle with their own struggle, and their win with hopefully their win at the end of the preparation. So never let your mind get completely detached from the preparation mode.
Yes. So I would one thing I want to add to that is when we are taking the break, we should have this goal in mind that I'm taking this because I want to come back and prepare even better.
Right.
So we should have that in mind, and I think that will be helpful.
A good point indeed. So Dr. Akhil, now I would want to go into some specifics about how you prepared. So can you tell me, I mean, how were those 3 months planned, and how were those the latter 3 months of revision planned? Can you tell us in more details?
Yes, sir.
How much time to be given to the larger subjects, to the smaller subjects, all those stuff?
Yes. So I started my preparation late, and I realized that I was late, and many others had started earlier. So I knew I had to go really fast.
Right.
I divided it into 3 sections.
Right.
I had initial 3 months for my first read. As I mentioned earlier, I had my videos, I had my notes, extra points I used to add in my notes. I wanted to make sure that this notes was the last thing that I'll go back to, my last resort. So then I'll do the question bank along with that. That's one important thing I want to stress on, is that we should not just keep reading and reading and reading. Along with that, we should spend at least 1 hour a day doing questions, because that'll give us an idea of how to approach these questions, how to understand the meaning of what is asked, and how to mark, how to select the options, or how to rule out the options. So those things are equally important. So that's how I went for the first 3 months. I made sure that I went really pretty fast, understood everything. At the same time, I did not hurry through things so that I left out any concept or any topic. and I used to spend 15 to 16 hours a day, as much as possible. After the first 3 months, I dedicated another 1.5 months to.
So before we go to that 1 month,
Yes.
so you heard all the videos. I mean, from A to Z.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
And you heard all the main videos. Did you go for any kind of rapid revision videos, the shorter versions?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you use
Sometimes,
rapid revision. Okay. All right.
So that's all customized.
Customized.
I would say we have to keep on assessing ourselves. There's no hard and fast rule that this is to be done and this is not to be done.
All right.
Mostly, I would say 80 to 85% of the times I went for the main lectures.
The main
itself.
lectures. Okay.
But some sections I found that when I watched the rapid revision, I found that it was actually rapid.
Actually.
And it did have all the important points. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll save time doing this. And if I did not, if I still wanted to save time with the other, I'll just increase the speed. I'll increase the duration, and whichever concept I did not understand, I'll just listen to it again.
All right.
So I think it can be personalized.
All right. So, okay. Got it. Okay. Go ahead. So after the 3 months, yeah.
So that was my first 3 months. Then
and you gave equal importance to the shorter subjects also?
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely. Because those are the high-scoring subjects.
High-scoring subjects.
We can finish the short subjects. Subjects like medicine, surgery, it's the syllabus is not confined. We cannot say like if we finish one book or if we finish one set of videos, those questions only will be asked. So shorter subjects, we have around, I would say, 85 to 90% strike rate.
Right.
If we complete a short subject well, say dermatology, ophthalmology, psychiatry, anesthesia, all these things, if we are able to complete it, then we have a good chance of getting all those questions right and scoring well.
Right.
So equal importance should be given to the short subjects.
Shorter subjects also. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Then after my initial 3 months, I dedicated a 1.5 months to assessing myself. That was the main goal. I just wanted to see that 3 months I read, 3 months I practiced questions. Where do I stand now? Where all do I have to improve myself? So around 1 month was given for that. I spent around 60 to 70% of my time a day doing questions, practicing tests. I'll mark all the areas where I'm wrong. And the other 30% of the time that I study in that day, I'll dedicate to reading the concepts which I got wrong or the questions which I went wrong, the areas where I'm not sure of. So like that. That was how I spent the next 1 month.
Got it. All right.
So at the end of 4 months, I got an idea of how I should revise, how I should spearhead my next 2 months.
Last 2 months, okay.
Last 2 months. So which subject should I go first? Which subject should I go last? How many days I have to give for each subject. At the end of the 4 months, after my tests and everything, I realized that I was good in some subjects, but certain subjects were lacking. So I thought I'll give maybe 1 or 1.5 to 2 days to those subjects which I'm good at, and maybe 3 to 4 days for subjects where I'm weak.
Right.
So I distributed my time according to that.
Got it. All right. So this is how it was done. Wonderful. So now that you have a good rank in AIIMS,
Yes,
so
sir.
what are your plans? I mean, are you joining AIIMS or are you planning to give NEET exam and see if you can better that rank?
No, sir, I'll be joining AIIMS.
You'll be joining AIIMS. And what's your branch that you're looking for?
I'm looking for orthopedics.
For orthopedics. All right, wonderful. So the reason why I said in the beginning of this interview that this is a very important interview is Dr. Akhil's story tells us that, it's not about 10 months or 11 months or 12 months. It's not about the duration that you have, but the way you utilize those months is what counts. So if Dr. Akhil could use just 4 to 5 months to get a rank of 50 in AIIMS examination, dear students, still 30, 35, 40 days are left for a NEET examination. If you follow his principles, if you follow that 14 to 15 hour punishing schedule, I accept it's a punishing schedule, but see, when you do that, you look like this. You have that satisfactory smile on your face and that feeling of achievement glowing on your face. So it's all worth it. Am I right, Dr. Akhil?
Yes,
Isn't
sir,
it all
yes.
worth it?
Yes, sir. You're right.
When you look back at those 4 or 5 months, don't you feel
Yes.
a feeling of satisfaction that
More than satisfaction, we feel proud that we were able to discipline ourselves
exactly
to achieve this goal, because everyone wants a seat, everyone wants a dream seat in their specialty that they want. So when you work hard, when you discipline yourselves, when you have nothing but this one goal in your mind, and when you achieve it, and when you look back at all the process, you find that it was not really hard at all.
and it was all worth it.
It was all worth it.
All right. So again, we are so proud of you, Dr. Akhil, and we are so thankful for sharing this story with all the students out there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.